But here's the problem. This is where he hit the issue. They spoke for a whole day the next day, right? What you're doing is you're on his behalf. This is why he sparked this. He doesn't want to lose her, right? And why would he feel that pressure so bad that he doesn't want to lose her? It's that black hole, right? He does not want to go back into this darkness. This light, even though it's a little light, is bright as hell whenever it's that dark. So he's trying not to lose her, and at the same time, on her behalf, she's thinking like, I also don't want to lose him, and I appreciate what we had yesterday, but he's starting to develop those patterns of really not letting me breathe, not giving him space. And we've all been in that situation, right? Let's say if she did let him breathe, right? Or she did kind of put her arm up so she can breathe, right? 2 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours go by without a text. Homeboy's losing his mind, right? Again, the shoe's on the other foot too, but or it can be on the other foot, but homeboy is absolutely losing his mind and is curious of what's going on, and he's giving out this energy to her, right? So after the whole day, I'm sure he hit everything that you can possibly check into somebody's day about, and bullshit on conversation. And what's even more fascinating, I bet you she did give him that arm distance to just chill, like she's at work or she's doing something busy, and he never left her alone. So I'm not sure if you smothered her, but I do know you gave her signs that, like you said, rip body, good job, what you need. So I'm assuming, like you said, you're not a model. That means you are handsome. So she likes you, but you're giving off the sign. Nothing's worse than bumping into, for an attractive woman, the bumping into an attractive man who has all his ducks in order for the most part, and he's clingy, or he has no clue what he's doing when it comes. He knows what to do in his life, his job. He knows how to be successful. He knows how to take care of his body, but he doesn't know how to take care of you, right? Doesn't even know where to start. And this is a major turnoff for a woman, for sure. This is equivalent to, you can imagine the other analogies. However, this made her completely uncomfortable in a turn off, the fact that he's showing signs that he is this guy. And that is a mistake, unfortunately, and this is why it broke off the way it did. This is why it's so important when you're dating as a guy to never hit zero. The women you're talking to, they never, ever hit zero. All those guys filling up their inbox for the last few years of their life, they're in her phone book, right? And she uses her phone like a Swiss Army knife, right? Depending on why she needs it, whether it's attention, whether it's confidence, whether it's having somebody buy her something. Like, they have men in their phone book for all these situations. They'll never get to zero. If you drop them off, if you ghost them, they'll go silent for a day, sulk, hit somebody up, but they're going back to their phone book within 4 to 8 hours, and not only seeing what else is out there, but getting their little doses of confidence back from these other men, Instagram, etc. And why you should never hit zero as a man, for this example right here, right when you see a light, you're so desperate to go get it that you trip over your own feet and you shoot yourself in the foot. And as you said, it's hurting my feelings and ruining my confidence. I feel I've always been good with women. I'll get to that part, but it's hurting your feelings and ruining your confidence. This is what cannot be afforded. So imagine, this is why you reach You almost got something, you lose it. Reach, almost got something, and you lose it. And this is the pattern until you lose confidence and your feelings are hurt. Right? This is a terrible feeling. And imagine, especially after this situation where you worked on all this and you went out and this is about the last straw. Right? How do you even pick yourself back up and do what? And that's and hence why you're reaching out. And this cannot be a just like you said, I've read a few books, a couple tricks, and I'm ready to go back out there. This isn't that. We're talking about sex, love, and relationships. We're talking about dating here. We're talking about your life. We're talking about her life. We're talking about everyone's lives. This is not a situation where you're trying to build a dresser and you're not that good at carpentry. So you watch a few videos, tips and tricks, and you keep going until you get it wrong. That's not what this is. That's your time ticking over there when you're building that dresser. But in the real world, not only is that your time, that's your energy, that's your future, that's sacrifice, seeing the shit you put work into. There is so much, just little chips. This is why little chips off of you, this is why at 27, by the time this man is 27, he feels like it was just one big chunk ripped out of him. And that's not the case. It's just, you've just been getting chiseled on for years and years, and you're getting thinner to the point you feel like you can't be sculpted anymore. And that's because you can't be sculpted anymore. It's time. This isn't building a dresser. This is your life. You're a human being. You must build yourself. You have to redo everything, unfortunately. You have to wipe your slate clean, and this is the hardest part. But the people that's made it out of the worst situations in their life, any traumatic experience, that's what they had to do. Unfortunately, but that's what they had to do. They had to wipe their slate clean, rethink everything, rehome their feelings. They had to reinvent themselves, essentially. And you need to get to the point, and the reason why you reinvent yourself is because now you're brand new, right? You can be hurt again. You don't go back into this dating game guarded and you better be coming for love. You better back if you don't. Look who, with that type of fear and the people that's coming to you, look who you're attracting in this type of body language, right? You're just attracting predators in a situation like that. And you need to be careful. We've all been like this guy, scared, timid, but people are still coming after him. And this is why you're only going to push everyone back. And when you reinvent yourself, you're ready for love again. Right? You're ready to be hurt again. Right? Because it's not that, oh, this will never happen to me again. Never say never. And it's just unrealistic. You don't want somebody to push you over a cliff knowing all these metaphors. You want to have a parachute. You want to be ready to be hurt again. And it's about getting back up. That's really what it is. As they say, it's not how hard you fall, but it's you getting back up. And that's what reinventing yourself is. You're getting back up for what? Ready to fight again, right? So this isn't building a dresser. This isn't something you need tips and tricks on. You need your foundation redone. And you need to build a new house on it. And when this man says, I feel like I've always been good with women and now I feel like I'm awful, I've actively read up on tips and tricks, a few books. Excuse me. This is that chiseling that I'm talking about. He's always felt like he's been good with women, and now he feels awful, right? And if he knew why he felt awful, then he would write in the detail of his experience. But really, he can't even find it, right? This is why really all he can throw in is his last Tinder experience and the straw that broke the camel's back. And like he said, now he feels like he's awful at it. Really, whoever has ever been in this situation, you've always been awful with it, right? This is why your last relationships didn't work, but this is why when it comes with age, you go downhill. And think about that. When it comes to your job, and the longer you've been there, you go uphill, right? So why would everything you do and keep doing, you go uphill as you age, right? You become a veteran. But when it comes to dating, you go downhill with this veterancy, right? That's because it's all out of whack, and that's what needs to be understood. During school in your youth, the world was built for you. You were stuck in this, right, with your hormones and puberty taking place. This is when y'all don't have a choice. You're forced into each other, bumping into each other, and you're bound to find somebody. You're bound to find somebody you like, but then you get to the real world, right? This is why they pound your brain in during education, meaning your latter years of high school leading into college, right? They put that much pressure on you. There's a statistical proof on the specific amount of study hours it takes in order to make straight A's or just A's or an A in one-year classes in order to get through it. And they've statistically got this down to a science because the collegiate realm really got it down to a science because they know what you're about to face. It's all a hustle at the same time, meaning they're a business, billion-dollar corporations, most of these universities, but they're not wrong in what you're about to experience in the real world, right? In the real world, when it comes to your career, as most of y'all know, they're not fucking around. And they don't really care about your divorce or some of your situations. They want you to be ready to roll. And you go through that gauntlet and you experience that after you come out of college, and when you get your career, you already been put through the gauntlet. Your time management has been narrowed out, your experience, your hard work, right? You had hobbies, or if you play sports on this, like you had a busy ass schedule, so you can handle that. What about your dating life though? Right? You haven't been put through that gauntlet that young, and I don't think you should personally, but you haven't been put through that same gauntlet. Your parents should have educated you. See, this is your college. This is what should have been happening. You should have been educated during your adolescence leading up to your adulthood to get ready for this. And for most of us, including myself, this wasn't the situation. So really, since you didn't get through that education nor experience during your adolescence, you going into your adulthood, this is when everything starts to happen, right? This is when your gauntlet should start. Really, for everyone out there, by the time you reach 27, you should have already been through that gauntlet. You have already, and this is what most of us experience by the time you hit this man's age at 27. You're almost like, right? As if your first year from coming out of college into a career, or your first year at a job anyways, it's like you get to a point where it's like you realize this is the future, this is the next years to come, and you have a decision to make to prepare and sustain such a duration in order for it to come out in a positive light. So by the time you reach this man's age at 27, you should feel like you've been through it. Those years from 21 to 27, those should have been your collegiate years, right? Damn your medical school or law school years that is adding up to. And by the time 27, this is a great age to understand your experiences, to put them all together, to find answers to every confusing situation you have, melt it all down, and reinvent yourself. Put it all back together. Your experiences make you who you are. This is a beautiful thing. You will become a vet. You will become seasoned. This works out very well for men in comparison to women around this age. We should be distinguished, right? We should be experienced. We should know what we're doing. So, my man, so for you, you need to embrace what you have. You need to embrace this situation, and I hope you do find, or this brings you some clarity towards this, and you need to accept it all. But you need to, everyone out there, you need to find clarity to your confusing and haunting situations, and you need to melt them down and then rebuild yourself back up. You can do this. Good luck out there. Together we'll learn the facts to educate ourselves. Welcome to EDC.